According to the blood patterns, that's where the victim was attacked. So that must be the killer's trail. That's strange. The trail is very erratic, as if the killer was drunk or hesitant.
There's gotta be something can be done to get out of this bullshit mess. No?
Poor Jack. He didn't deserve this. Evening, sir. Can I help you?
I have a few questions for you.
Well, if you must.
I spoke to Dr. Swansea. He's not the man I'm looking for. Now, I want the truth.
The truth? What do you mean?
I suspect that someone else was here tonight, and I don't think Tom wants to tell me about it.
I'm just the barmaid here, okay? If Tom says you're the only visitor we had, then you're the only visitor we had.
I can feel your fear, madam. Please, tell me what's going on.
It's Will. William Bishop. He came in here earlier tonight and he... Well, I thought he was going to clock someone.
Tell me about this William Bishop.
Will was a sailor who worked at the canning factory before he lost that job. A nice bloke, really. He's never been violent. Until tonight.
Why keep it a secret? Why not tell me about it?
Tom's nothing if not loyal. After Will lost his job, he offered him one here. They used to be good mates. But recently, well... Will started to get very aggressive.
I see. Thank you for your candor. I'll be sure to talk to Tom.
You again. What can I do for you?
Tom, talk to me about the visit from your old friend, William.
Yes, Will came by tonight, but he's not my friend anymore.
Who is he?
William? Just an old sailor who loves his gin too much. He worked for years at the canning factory before it closed.
How was he tonight? Was he different?
Sicker than usual, perhaps. He whined and mumbled about how mean people were to him and how he'd like to talk to me outside, and then he left when I refused.
Is he dangerous?
Yeah. Like many drunks, he's all bark and no bite. Can barely stand up most of the time.
I need to find him. It's a matter of urgency. Do you know where he is?
You could try his boat. It's up by the North Pier. He sleeps there when he's too drunk to get home.
Please describe him to me.
What do you expect? He's a tall, sick, bastard with a bad rash and torn old clothes. William used to be strong. Now he's a mess.
Thank you, Tom.
If you see him, tell him I don't want him back here unless he cleans up his act, okay?
I will get to the bottom of this intrigue. What's been done to me, to this city. The body is still warm. This man has just been drained of blood. Blood and empty gin bottles. This bishop fellow is something of a heavy drinker. This man was armed. He tried to defend himself. This corpse has been dried of its blood, just like the previous victim. What's this? Some sort of note. These men, they're a company of professional vampire hunters. There are blood splats on the other side of the canal. I must reach that barge.
Over there!
Ammunition crate. Good. I may need a lot of bullets. I feel like I'm back on the front line again.
To shut him, Mr. Billy. If the man says a bloodsucker's dug in here, you've got one job.
Sorry, sir. No admittance.
And find it fast.
It's fair enough, Tom. But why do they hide where it's
It's locked.
Stupid bitch! Oh my! Kill the vermin! To hell! Bloody leech! Over there! There's one of them vermin! Ah!
¿Cómo chupo sangre? A ver, empezando normal video grabado. ¿Cómo muerdo, po, weón? Eso es lo que quiero saber. Mordedura en combate. Mordedura. Ya, y la habilidad es pasiva. Pero este es pasivo, po, weón. Vida salvaje. Estas mis habilidades. Activa. Tengo solamente esas dos. De jarrón. Estaca. Ah, puedo usar una estaca con el otro y el machete. No, nada más. Suero. Falta sangre. Investigaciones. Carta. Tengo plata. Mordedura. ¿Cómo saco la mordedura? Control de habilidad de vampiro. Cautivar. Menú. Pausa. Printar. Esquivar. Mandar. Mantener. Control. Interacción. F. Determinante. Sí. ¿Cómo era que pegaba la mordedura? Bueno?
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
Why not betray your trust?
This is first, you see. I need...
Guadaña usada es una agua.
I need a drink. I'm so thirsty.
This place reeks of bloodshed.
Sorry tonight already, and it did not quench my thirst. I must have more.
Oh dear God.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
William, please, stop.
Como siempre, robar.
It's not too late. I forgive you. William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by Skal?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you... like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
Ah.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed this drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Creo que esta wea es Praga. ¿Qué onda? No sé dónde estamos. Voy a pegar una-
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... what manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that Skal. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word again. from a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
Puta, ¿qué más, po, weón? Si no tenía otra opción.
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dame una camisa nueva, por favor, weón.
I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dorothy está llena de
Dr.
sangre.
Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
Ah, me sueltan acá. Sí. Actualización, accede al hospital y aceptar la ayuda del doctor. A partir de trabajar en el hospital, pero ya. Investigación.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Mr. Hampton needs me right now.
Ah, se está muriendo el párroco. A ver, ¿qué tenemos por acá?
I cannot enter.
Para ser un vampiro y que no pueda pasar por la weá es bastante. Oye, pero lo está cuchillando, pues, bueno. ¿Qué onda?
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seed of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
¿Lo mato o no? Puta la weá, ¿qué hago? Pero bueno, estaba peleando ahí con alguien y lo tiró al río. ¿Por qué? No sé. Lo sentencio y lo libero. Todo tiene consecuencias. Puta, no sé cuál es malo y cuál es bueno. Ya vamos a liberarlo.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
Did I black out?
¿Qué? ¿Y no que se estaba muriendo el weón? Puta, la weá penca, weón. ¿Cómo no lo...? Es que... Se está muriendo ahora. Y ahora está como si nada, weón.
Giddy.
¿Y el weón que tiró por la borda?
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go. But no famished hunter can run for long.
Cazador hambriento no puede decir, no tengo que alimentarme. ¿Cómo voy en sangre? ¿Qué conexión tenía ese weón con el Carl Cox? Detalle. Vengo pista. ¿Me lo puedo chupetear ya de nuevo o no?
What happened?
No, que se estaba muriendo. Está como los tienen cara de hospital esta weá.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
Yeah.
I would like to ask a few questions first. What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of...
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Okay.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during this.
Yeah.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly
La
the
traducción es
best.
pésima, weón.
I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
De veras. Por el tiempo de... En ese tiempo las mujeres solamente
Any
podían
opinion
optar a
about the
eso.
management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Necesito pistas para desbloquear más. A ver, y no tengo más. Ya hay un weón ahí.
Goodbye, Dr. Tim.
A ver, un huevo medio muerto aquí, ya, otro huevo medio muerto, puta, las gráficas no son nada del otro mundo. ¿Qué estoy jugando? ¿En qué hueá de video? A ver. Avanzado, estoy en calidad de textura alta, 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 muy alta, muy alta. Estoy en máximo, pues weón. En general, 1080, aplicar ajustes, sincronización no, pantalla completa sí, ya. Primero vamos a poner uno más.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Ah, el comerciante de armas, pues weón. Siempre tiene que andar por ahí.
How is the situation around?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful.
Fucking
we lack
awful.
everything.
Fucking
and it's
awful,
getting
pues,
worse
es
every
horrible.
day.
So what do you do?
I've been an ambulance driver since...
Since you're on the front line, how is the
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting...
Ya.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently.
Ya, hay una misión.
What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing in. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Medianoche en el jardín de nueva investigación ya.
Are you really?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know.
But you're not defending yourself.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
I'd like to...
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. I rely...
¿Qué tenemos? Ah, piezas de crafteo. A ver, y de nada aquí. Munición, suero, armas de módulo. Tengo pedazos. Ya, ok. Este weón me vende armas. ¿Qué más tenemos por acá? Ahí hay otro weón. Ah, no, es el mismo weón. Vamos a darle una vueltita por acá. Ah.
Good evening, nurse.
No.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has
¿Por qué me mira de lado, weón?
I'm Nurse Grace.
De una paloma.
Welcome
Un pollo.
to Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
¿Cómo es la situación?
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an
invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff.
Brilliant professionals, most of them.
Most of them?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak...
Is there...
Well, I have never met someone...
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
La pista del weón. No duerma nada.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please...
No. I may disagree with some conduct.
No me dio nada porque no tengo las pistas, yo creo. Ya,
Goodbye.
Muchas gracias. Y veamos. ¿Qué más tenemos por acá? Vamos por aquí, yo tengo una misión.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Supone que en el segundo piso está mi... ¿Quién es este weón?
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going... Dr. Reed.
Ya,
Dr.
sí sé
Swansea
que soy
informed us.
famoso.
Thank you. I am Thoreau Strickland. Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of...
Ya.
Please, could you tell...
I'm a great admirer of your...
Ya, muchas gracias.
What made you choose...
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have...
It's always a...
This epidemic may be the century's most...
I based my technique on my mentor's research.
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental. And unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me. but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Ya. Tengo otra pista, ¿verdad? Pista.
What can you tell? Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea.
Do you need help with anything?
Un hueón gritando al fondo.
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Ya, tengo una...
You seem quite optimistic.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test.
Questions remain about our capacity.
True, true.
Ya, veremos eso.
Last summer during...
Ya. Listo.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him? Or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Ah.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Ah. Listo. Todo lo que necesito de ti.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Ay, que hay otro weón más. Puta, pero
Good
tengo
evening,
para
sir.
conversar
I'm
toda la
Dr.
noche aquí.
Reed.
Reed, yes, I've been informed about your...
Does my arrival
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea...
Ya, un weón que me tiene mala.
If you have a problem with me...
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position.
I know we've never met before, but I...
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Ay, ¿qué? A mí no me habla en ese tono. ¡Ah!
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you could...
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around.
Carelessness?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and that...
¿Este weón está en contra? Ya, no quiero saber más de este weón.
Thank you for your...
Ya, sí, necesito información.
I'm quite busy.
I don't know what...
I don't quite...
And what
I served in the war just like you.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Oh, y el weón pesado.
Knowledge has always been and will remain...
It is not a question of initiative. It is a question of integrity. These men and women have put their faith in us, Dr. Reed.
It seems you have...
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as...
We can at least agree on something.
Ah, puta.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
And are you not afraid?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it.
Tell me,
Strickland,
are you thinking...
Harvey...
Ay, no me da la otra opción, puta la wea.
Thank you for your...
Ya, y esta.
What can I do for you, Doc?
Ah, ya hablé con ella.
Thank you, nurse.
Chao, loca. ¿Y este? Ah, este es el weón del...
As for me,
Tenemos aquí. Carta incompleta de detalle. Esta es la carta incompleta. No. Te ve sangriento. Pues claro. Carta incompleta. Quería decirte haberme escrito antes, pero tan solo de la palabra maldita para me despertaron contra los médicos, me cubren el brazo. Robert Chadwick de he pedido algunos chelines. No los podré, siento no poder trabajar en el momento, pero ya me meteré cuando en cuanto los médicos cuelen el brazo. Yo está mintiendo, que bueno, se puede morir.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about the doc...
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the...
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building.
Tell me about it.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
Tengo desbloqueado.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
You can't...
Of course...
How could your job be responsible?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Alemanes, po weón.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
You seem worried about the safety of your family. And it's obviously the reason why your wound troubles you so much.
I cannot give up on my children now. They both need me living.
What about their mother, if I may ask?
She died in 1915 during one of the...
Yeah.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Necesito grabar. Los sueros de la weá. ¿Dónde está la enfermera?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
¿Qué weá? ¿R? Tiene 2 puntos, yo tengo 1 para cautivar. No puedo.
And why do you believe?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am.
Please.
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover, to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
I'll leave you.
Yeah.
Disgust on every...
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently...
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took...
Cuarto de ojo, un proyectil alemán.
How is your stay with her?
Oh, it's bliss.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a...
It's the pain, sir. The
Who is treating you?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry.
Can I do it?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills.
No funcionan, pero ya, a ver. Necesito una pista para...
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you...
I really don't want to talk.
No offense. I was pushing too much.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed?
In her madness, she never...
Goodbye for now.
Damn. The pain.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
What do you do for a living?
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith, willing to preach the good word.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton?
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton.
Hello again.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton.
¿Dónde está la escalera del segundo piso? Ah, escucha, ahí no veo. wea gigante ahí.
Time has lost its effect on me, but the
Espíritu
suffering
nueva tortura ayuda a
continues.
propagar la gripe. No toques. No toques en público.
It's locked.
Not now. Please come back later.
Puta, soy una eminencia, pues weón, ¿cómo no me van a dar una cocina más limpia? Hasta el piso.
I cannot enter. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin. The flower's dying. It needs water.
Es un placer muy activo. Cientos de sangre. De experiencia, necesito más experiencia para poder sacar